hits it? Oh.
We do. We need some sort of hey.
Some intro, something.
It's the Dork Horror Show, starring a couple of dorks. With special guests, some dorks. Today, talking about the dorks with dorks in the band. Anyway, how are you guys?
Hey, how you good? How you doing?
I don't know if you can see my cool outfit that I wore. I was thinking about the FF today, so I wore my Reed Richards Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. outfit for the multiverse, because I firmly believe that Mark's line of, hey, does this world have a Tony Stark, is really the only way to introduce the FF.
It's gotta.
I mean, you said that like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, and that's never left my head.
Well, the rumblings are it's the Mandalorian. That's the latest rumblings I've been reading. So
Pedro.
Yeah.
Didn't you were our ticket into the dark web there, and they said Pedro had been cast, and what Vanessa Kirby, and all the rumors are they've all been asked, but nothing. The other 3 haven't officially signed anything.
Well,
that seems super likely to me.
Yeah, and I think the Ben Grimm is the guy who just won the Emmy for The Bear.
Oh,
that guy?
Elon. Is it Elon? Alon? I don't watch The Bear, so I don't know.
It's kind of a waste of a dude if he's just going to be CGI the whole time.
No. You've seen The Bear, haven't you?
Yes, but the head guy, the head chef?
Not the head chef.
He's the cousin, the guy.
Oh, then yeah, totally. That's perfect.
So his growly ass, grumbly voice, I think, is going to be perfect coming out of a human-sized bag of rocks.
Yeah, that was the last one I saw that had any that was connected to something I read recently about Wonder Man. That was not canceled. It's still greenlit, and supposedly it's going to be one of those movies. I don't know if it didn't allude if it's a movie or a TV show, but essentially it's an actor playing the superhero Wonder Man, then gets the superpowers to be Wonder Man, then uses those powers to kind of like for like fame and fortune, and then actually towards the end he becomes the hero. You know, like one of those kind of you know, yeah. But that's the last I read, and again it was the same cast that I just kind of alluded to. Was the last few things that I saw on that, but nothing big since. Is that what it is? Is a Marvel Spotlight?
Is it gonna be a movie or a TV show?
You know what? It didn't say what I read. It was kind of a quick thing, and then when I went to go back to go like, normally I go back and I like take a picture of it and I share it with you guys, and by the time I went back, that whole thing was down. So. Which generally is either like
a good sign, bad sign.
A good sign, or maybe there was something else in the links that I didn't click on, which probably saves me.
If it's that thing you sent to us, I put that on my Facebook. So I'm pretty sure that Sagatag is right, that it's the Marvel. It got moved to Marvel Spotlight, like that Halloween Werewolf.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night, man. That was awesome.
Yeah. They were just gonna do it like that and go, hey, cool. And if it hits, then you do another 6 episodes, or fold them into the Avengers or whatever.
Yeah,
but like I think they're getting smart about that now.
Well, I supposedly the Marvel element of Disney is everything is being reviewed right now, because obviously with Daredevil Born Again, I'm sure you saw the announcement that they're bringing back Foggy and the girl from True
Karen.
Blood.
Yeah, Karen.
Yeah, Deborah Ann Woll. Yeah. So she's back. They're both back, and then the reshoots, they are supposed to start filming, I think something like this week or next week or something like that. So
that's just the biggest no-brainer of all time. It's like, why would you bring back Daredevil and not those two?
Especially if you're bringing back the person who played Daredevil in your show, and the guy who played Kingpin in your show. Why are you not bringing back the 2 characters that everyone loved?
Punisher as well.
Oh, that's right. I did read that.
And so, like, what? You're not bringing those two back? It seems nutty.
Right. Right.
But somebody woke up and went, "Oh yeah, we should have them too." So that's great.
Have you guys seen the Marvels yet?
Yes.
What do you think of it?
I loved it.
I'm halfway through it last night, and I'm like, all right, this is probably my favorite thing since No Way Home.
I thought so. Here's the thing: it's one of those movies where I'm watching it, thinking as it's going on, like, I'm so glad that this movie exists, and I personally love it, but I have no idea who else they're making this movie for.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like 500,000 people like us in North America are going to go, fuck yeah. But everyone else, even if they love it and there's just too much homework.
It was too niche.
Right? It's a sequel to a movie from like 10 years ago. Right? Yeah. So it's not like the 5th sequel too, right? It's like direct. There's just way too much time in between people. And then you have to have seen like 2.5 TV shows to get like who even everyone is, because there's no time to introduce everyone. But like if you're somebody like us, it's like, fuck yeah! Oh look, they learned how to fight by slapping their negabands together, which is actually a callback to the Shazam Captain Marvel and Billy Batson. I was like yelling that to Walker as we were watching it. I was really stoked, right? But it was just me. Everyone else in the audience was like, I wish I was watching the movie that guy's watching.
Did they just release did that?
Yeah, I got high the other night and bought it.
I was gonna say it must have been available. So
yeah, because if I would have waited probably a week, it probably is gonna be on Disney Plus or something.
What do you make of it, Mark?
It's streaming. It's streaming.
I liked it. I'm like halfway through it, and I of course fell asleep because of reasons.
Well, yeah.
But I was like, this is enjoyable. I'm laughing. Everyone playing the girl playing Kamala Khan was cute and funny.
Yeah, I mean everybody nailed it, but it's kind of weird because of however the timing got screwed up by the Rona and the writer's strike and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it came out after Secret Invasion, and you're like, I don't really know what happened here.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm like, oh, the Skrull have a place in that. I'm like, wait, I must have not finished something then.
Well, you'll see. I mean, it's like just basically Nick Fury is written differently in those two shows that came out right after each other. So you're like, I guess if Captain Marvel was supposed to come out first, because he's all happy and stuff is humming along, and then something bad happens in Secret Invasion. I guess, but then we're like, oh shit, they killed that cool Skrull guy, and then he's like, hey, but it's all right hanging out with these chicks. It's kind of cool. It's like a weird tonal shift.
Yeah, it's like Picard from the TV show to the movie.
Yeah.
This is Dork Court, not Dork Trek or whatever we call that. So I can't participate in that in the Picard chit chat.
Oh, have you ever seen? You must have seen the movies, though, right?
Oh no, I'm just being a jerk.
Yeah,
I'm just being a jerk.
Oh, because it's like even my sister, who could care less, right? What I remember the first Next Gen movie, she's like, they shot his, not the ready room, his quarters.
Huh.
He's like dreaming about Victorian Christmas or something. Even my own sister, who could not care less, was like, well, they shot his whole quarters differently. The light is just too dramatic. I don't like this. It's clearly showing off. Let's go. And I'm like, oh, really?
At a secret moment of outrage, because Star Trek Next Gen is my kitchen show. I'll put it on while I'm making dinner. And we watched the episode where Tasha's daughter is a Romulan, and it's she's like pulling the strings on the Klingon Civil War.
Yeah.
And her and Picard talk, and she's like, I know my mother was sent back in time because you sent her there. And I was like, bullshit. So I had to watch the episode where the whole time travel snafu happened, and Picard just doesn't send Tasha. Tasha's like, I'm going, and Picard's like, you can't go. She's like, but if I don't go, I'll just be dead, and I don't want to be a meaningless death. I'm like, fucking Picard is getting blamed for all this bullshit. It's bullshit. So mad.
Well, you can headcanon that in 2 seconds, right? That's just the story she heard from Starfleet Captain Awesome Guy because Sela, her mom, got a thing through the face and didn't make it. And so it's all nonsense told through 2 people in the next multiverse over. Next.
Yeah.
The Dark Court has ruled.
Chunk.
Did you see that they changed the title of the last Mission Impossible movie?
Oh, no.
What was it?
It was Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Okay.
And now it's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Wait. Oh, they retroactively changed the name of the movie that already came out?
Correct. So
Yeah,
now it's which leads me to believe that there's not a part 2. There's going to be like 2 or 3 more movies, or they're just going to use a different title in the name.
Yeah, that's just marketing. It's always Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. They just said part 1 so nobody had the Dune problem.
Right.
When they get to the end of that movie and it's like, well, wait. Right, because it's part 1, but see, we're not schmucks. We told you in the first place. But now everybody knows it's part 1, so it's just Dead Reckoning. And
yeah,
Dead Reckoning part 2 is like First Blood, Second Blood.
Yeah, I assumed it was more along the lines of Dune, and less along the lines of Edge of Tomorrow or whatever. I think it's like Live, Die, Repeat, whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
I think it's actually called Live, Die, Repeat when you go look it up now. Because that was the big marketing blurb in all of the posters.
Rightly so.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be making a sequel to that too.
Oh man, I hope so. That movie's great.
I like that movie.
I love that movie.
Emily Blunt.
Yep.
Yes. Well, I watched The Looper and that one back to back, and I was like, well, I guess Emily Blunt has to be in every cool sci-fi movie now because this is fantastic.
She was Sue Storm for a hot second, right?
And now I'm thinking,
Krasinski.
Was she in Oblivion too?
Is she in Oblivion?
Are there any women in Oblivion?
Yeah,
I just know it's Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman.
No. Hold on, let's confirm.
Never mind. We've lost.
Lost
Steve now.
That was our Sunday Comic-Con movie one night.
Oh yeah,
Oblivion. Yeah. We were all in the hotel back in the day, like maybe 5 years ago.
I remember that one night that Avengers, it was that epic night where I was like, nah, man, I'm getting too old. And like you and Ian went out and I just started watching the Avengers. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. And you came back like a couple hours later, like you'd been married or something in Tijuana. You both had small Mexican families that you were responsible for. And you were like, we should have stayed here, watched the Avengers.
Yeah. I remember that.
I always got a kick out of that one.
She is not in Oblivion.
Who's the woman in Oblivion? Is there?
Remember the woman that's on the first woman that's all through the first act? That's like, "Are you an effective team?" And he's like, "Yes."
It's the one girl, Olga Kurilenko. God, this is just easier to.
That's Olga Kurylenko. Yeah, she's that awesome model. That's who I thought Emily Blunt was. Oh, look at this! Can I talk about how cool that little picture is? That's my dad, my mom, my grandmother, and me at 15 years old.
How do we?
That Chewbacca mask.
I don't know if there's a way just to show that.
I'm trying all the layouts. Let's say.
All right. I guess if it doesn't matter. Who cares? I just thought it was cute.
Well, that is the infamous Chewbacca mask.
That's the mask we just got restored. Yes.
First off, now I follow. Is it Tom Spina? Is that the name?
Yeah, I always said Spina, but I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I follow. I follow him now. The stuff that him, I assume, and his team get, pretty bonkers.
Yeah, that guy's top of the line for restoring movie props. It's basically like I have a time machine. And I went to 1967, and I got William Shatner to go out, clubbing with, trying to get girls. I mean, that's like Tom Spina going, like, really? Like, you're going to fix my little mask? Thank you so much, sir.
Just the amount.
Do they specialize in a wide range? Like, is it all kinds of fabric materials?
Please hold.
It's movie stuff, man. Like, if you had but it's usually the giant Jabba thing, right? Oh, hey, we're supposed to deliver this to Lucasfilm. It fell off the truck. And we're not saying this is the real Jabba. Yeah, but look at those boots. Yeah.
But like, here's a great example. This is the one that I was looking at. Like, they got, I don't know if you know what Baby the Last Dinosaur was. It was like it was like a movie that came out, and they made a prop of like the animatronic, and that's what he got.
The top, yeah.
And they were able to, wow.
Like, just like it's absolutely, it is an insanely wonderful sci-fi fantasy rabbit hole to see what this guy is able to do. I the other day, he on one of the things he posted, he did someone was in possession of the Dan Aykroyd Big Fat Baby from Nothing But Trouble.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
And they okay, that's what it was just on. And it's like, and they're like restored it. It's like, again, everything he touches is essentially one of one, and it's like such an amazing job.
One of the creatures from Fifth Element. That's great.
But back when I was on the replica prop forum, I think that's where I first ran across Tom's stuff that is just so talented. I remember I saw somebody had that Frozen Han that I have downstairs, the Elusive Concepts fiberglass thing that you could, we got it at Sharper Image. So it was like a run of 1,500. So they're out there. And somebody got Tom to make it into this floating coffee table.
Oh, that's nuts.
And it's like, I don't, mirrors were involved, but I don't know. Maybe he has the repulsor technology, because that's how talented those guys are.
Now I'm just imagining Han coming out of carbonite and having like a little coffee circle like on his face.
Well, oh, go on. Sorry,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, but the level of stuff they do, it's like, I feel very honored that they were like, yeah, you know what? This is somebody's childhood thing, and we know what this means to people. So, yeah. And they didn't just comb it. You know what I mean? They like reinforced it.
Oh,
God, it's sometimes when latex gets old and doesn't move, it just cracks. And they reinforced it and made a form to hold it with a little stand. And it's like, yeah, okay, it looks like Chewie got hit a couple of times in the face, but don't we all, right? So this kind of stuff, I always feel like that big line in Full Metal Jacket, where they're talking about the rifles. There are many that like it, but this one is mine. It's like, yeah, okay, it looks like, Lumpy from Life Day got into a, heroin vendor or something. But, this Wookiee is mine from the old days.
It came out spectacular. I showed Lauren because I was trying to explain to her like what took place. So I showed her the before pictures of how you had it.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, oh my God, I would have thought it was something that was dead. I would have threw it away. And then I showed her what they did, and she was just blown away. But they also do like the really cool thing is they also like, if you have props, they sell the stuff to like properly display it, which I think has always been like, it's always fun to find something cool to get something to hang or put something up on display, but they definitely have like for mask. If you had like an original, like I'm always thinking like if I had an original, it's something to look for. But if like I had an original like Halloween Mike Myers mask, like the first time they issued it, like they sell the stuff that you could properly display it, which is awesome.
Man, it's like so easy to go down a rabbit hole with these guys, like all the stuff that they worked on.
Yeah.
It's just so great.
They're so talented. Those guys are beyond artisans. Everything they do is museum quality. I love it.
Where are they based out of?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I have a box downstairs I can go find there.
Hold on.
Yeah, go get it. No, just kidding.
It looks like they're New York.
Yeah.
New York based.
So not Australia is what I would.
No.
And it's cool because it's like their breakdown of the site. You should go noodle on their website. It's a lot of they're artists. They're all artists. So that's the cool part about it. It's like a group of artists that all specialize in different elements. So then they work collaboratively in that sense. Like I'm sure probably like 3 or 4 people probably touched Larry's Chewbacca mask because they all do different elements of, you know, like you said, latex and the hair and all the different things. So I don't know. I find that completely fascinating.
They absolutely did, because when I was trading emails with everybody, I made sure to call out and like thank you to Tom and your team, because it's very clear. Like Tom probably went, okay, yeah, that's cool. Be cool to that guy. I've done it for a while. That's how close he got to it, because it's like, oh, Elvis, come to my kid's birthday party, please, and put this clown suit on. No, thank you. It's just not going to happen, right? Anyway, so they were like, hey, thanks for calling out the team, because lots of people don't do that. I'm like, yeah, but, you know, in fairness, lots of people don't know how it works. It's like, oh, here's some junk, and you put it in the box, and it comes back and is better. And you're like, thanks. You don't understand that it wasn't like a little magic wand that they waved, right?
Yeah.
It was real work. Yeah.
Yeah. It came out awesome. Pictures look great too. So,
you know, thanks very much. I kind of feel like when people gave me compliments about my little well-behaved toddler, it's like, yeah, he just has good temperament. I really didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, you did nothing. You did nothing.
Thing with a mask, man. I just mailed it to him, made sure I packed it really well, and sent him some money. They did all that genius work.
The mask that you sent is the same mask in that photo.
Yes.
Which I assume was at least 30 years ago.
Yeah, okay, so I can tell you almost exactly when that was.
Okay.
Because I'll have to do the math, but it's my 14th birthday in 1977. So
46 years.
So whatever that is.
I'm born in 78, so this is
so
easy.
The really cool thing, I don't know, I was doing this on Facebook, Mark, and I know you have a busy life and don't like read every word. But so I know you knew this thing was happening, but how it started was my sister finally got arranged all the boxes of crap that was in my mom's house. And there was this giant box that said Modles on it, MODLES, in my dad's handwriting. And I just made me smile because that was his spelling level. And it was cool to see his handwriting. This giant thing, and I'm like, what is this? And my sister's like, I don't know, just you owe me $150 for all this postage for this nonsense. And so I opened up this box, and it was like time traveling. It was my cool Millennium Falcon that I did with like all the oil slicks with my sister's mascara, like height of my model making powers, and like a cool Sculpey thing of Wolverine that I had made, which I haven't posted pictures of that yet, but like all these treasures, right? And my old football was autographed by my school buddies, so that when I was living in Vermont. But the bottom of it is this thing of paper, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's some old, I don't know, other crap. But I open it up, and it's kind of like, it does, like Lauren's right, that she would have just thrown it out, because
like a dead squirrel got in here. Yeah,
it did. It felt like a dead rabbit, you know. But as soon as I saw the color of the fur and everything, I knew exactly what it was. And I had this crazy transcendental moment, because, you know, I thought that thing had been lost forever, you know, 45 years ago. And then here it is. It's been sitting in my garage for, 10 years. And I didn't know it. So I took some pictures, and literally all my prop buddies were like, that looks like a job for Tom Spina, which is kind of a joke, right? Because like, really? Like, oh, Sophia Loren's going to come and teach me how to have sex? Thank you. Okay. And so I did. I tagged him, and he was super gracious, and he took the gig on, and I just can't be more thrilled. It was awesome. The end.
Did you mute yourself?
Oh, Modless. What was Modless?
It was supposed to be models.
Oh,
The Millennium Falcon. I forget. There's some other stuff in there. The sculpture of Wolverine.
I'm interested to see the Millennium Falcon when you're ready to take a picture of it.
Yeah, it's a little broken, so I'm going through something with a company that's doing the plastic museum display things, because you were so right earlier. You were like, this stuff gets elevated if you display it really well, and it's it's like slabbed comics. It's like, oh, that's $100 comic, and you slab it, and it's $30,000 comic already. And the same kind of thing happens with props and coins and stuff like that. If it's been encased in lucite or whatever, it's like, oh, well, that gives it a prestige. So anyway, I think to display something like that is cool. So I'm getting some for
those.
You're up to date on that.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, I will say that is my one rule of thumb now is if you own something, you have to display it.
Oh, those are pretty rare.
Yeah, I got an even rarer one, which
that's my favorite story. Actually, is yours.
Do you know that, Mark? Did I ever tell you that story?
Let's see if I get this to say. Hold on.
Is that? Well, it looks like Mr. Rogers.
Yes, I can't get to clear up.
What does it say?
It says, "Can you say cunnilingus?"
With Mr. Poor Fred Rogers. That's so sad.
Wait, what's the story? I don't think I've heard this.
So my challenge coin, my Larry challenge coin that I got, I
personally handed to you.
Yes, correct.
By Larry Young.
Yes. When I was working at Siberia, a tech company, consultancy, still around, we were looking for cool. That was the big thing about working at Siberia was like cool swag, cool stuff to give to people, cool like leave behinds and stuff like that. And one of the founders was like, I need something cool to make. Like, we're trying to think of something. And I was like, oh, you should do a challenge coin. And he's like, what's a challenge coin? And I was like, oh, well, I'll bring in the one. I'll bring in the one I have. And I brought in the one that Larry gave me, and he took it. And I was like, and I mean, at first he took it as I think to use as a reference, like, oh, I want to do this. I want to show a couple other people. But then indirectly kind of took it, and I actually never got it back. Now it created a Siberia challenge coin, which I hope did you? I think I got, So because I was a part of making those, I got a couple more, and my really great friend Cynthia Chen designed that, which is awesome. She kind of,
I love it.
Yeah, you should follow her on Instagram if you're on Instagram. She does like all the rugs and anyway, just look her up online. If not, I'll link something. I'll figure out how to do that stuff. She's amazing, super talented, but she drew it all. So indirectly, I got a new challenge coin from it.
Her coin is amazing. When I got Walker the John Wick set of all the different coins, and he's like, oh, that one Mr. Steve had, I'll go with this set. So tell your friend that it's unofficially in the John Wick universe.
Yeah, so it's sick. Like she draws like the really cats and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, my challenge coin, I got another challenge coin from Larry. I believe happened to be someone else's. I'll let you tell that story.
Yeah, this is the thing that I always felt badly about it. That Steve, the one guy who deserves to hang on to his challenge coin, gave it away by accident in a fit of kindness. And so it's like, I would always think, well, I'll do a second set. If I do a second set, it has to be a different design. But if it's a different design, then I can give him the first one, and that's cool, but it's still not the old one. And I just kind of was paralyzed by indecision until that thing I was telling you about, the arranging the modless. And I just got a bunch of junk oil paintings that I had done in high school, stuff like that. And in the bottom of this box that had burst open in shipment, it was flapping around. The tape had broken. And just in the bottom is my mom's challenge coin that I had sent them all those years ago. So not only did it get into this box, but it made it after having burst open in some way along the way it just got tucked into the cardboard, and
Huh.
then when I was unloading all these bigger things, I almost I didn't see it until I was breaking down the box. I was like, "What?" And I literally said in my own garage, "Holy fucking shit! I can give this." I said I can give this to Steve. So
Awesome.
then Steve, God bless him, I told him that story. He's like, "Well, I can't take this. That's the one you gave your parents." And I'm like, "Dude, both dead. Please do me the honor of taking this and making sure that you have one." And it just makes the story cooler.
Well, it sits right there, right with all of my AIT Planet Lair stuff. So, yeah,
right next to his grandpa's ashes.
He was buried. They were both buried. So,
well, I still got ashes though.
Oh, nice. That was smart.
Cigarette ashes. Yeah. That's what got him. Lung cancer. It was very bad. We finished watching the Fargo season finale. Did you guys watch this season at all?
Not yet.
Heard good things. Heard. Wait, is that? No, that's True
that's
Detective.
True Detective.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
Oh, yes.
True Detective.
So Fargo is the one with John Hamm and the chick from Ted Lasso, Judo Temple. The guy who played Steve, and not Steve Euchman, but the guy who played Steve in Stranger Things, Joseph Keeley, I think his name is. Joe Keeley? Seeley? Something like that. Anyway, super good. I loved it. The end is fucking banana cakes. It's because I love the characters that are in some other movie, right? I say this to you guys all the time. And so there was this one character that, because I'm on the outlook for that, I said around episode 3, like, that guy's the fucking spirit of vengeance. Like, he's not just some fucking guy with autism or something. I'm telling you, that's the spirit of vengeance. And it turns out he was a 500-year-old immortal Viking assassin. I'm going to say I was pretty close on the supernatural aspect of this character.
This is Fargo?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, the end of it is like, yes, the man learned how to eat the shit of the rich. And you're like, oh, this is the craziest ass metaphor ever. And then he's still talking to you, and you realize it's not a metaphor. Like, he's got a lot of really awesome details about what life must have been like in the 1400s or whatever.
I have to check it out. It's one of those shows I kind of turn on every so often, and if I don't think I've sat down and watched it religiously. So definitely one to go back and check out.
Well, Mark, you and I were just speaking of religions. We worshipped at the altar of Dr. Bishop in Fringe, and that show every season it just like literally changed format somehow, even though it retained all the main characters, and so. It's Fargo's almost an anthology show because it changes format every season, but it's just because it's a whole different story. Yeah. So it's like it kind of takes place even kind of thematically up in Fargo because this one was mostly in Minnesota. Wait, so you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, it's kind of cold all the time. Man, it makes weird shit happen, doesn't it? Let's see what's happening here. Oh, that guy's really a Viking? Yeah.
I think the new season has Winston, right, from New Girl.
Does
Lamorne Morris?
He's awesome.
Who I saw randomly by Trader Joe's in Oakland one day.
Oh yeah.
And we were driving by, and I was like, "That's fucking Winston from New Girl." Jez was like, "No, cool. It wasn't." And I was like,
"Did you really do a little stop?"
Yeah, it was him.
He does that. He does a commercial for a bank now. I can't think of what it is.
Emmo.
Yeah, that's a. Yep, you're right.
Well, he's fantastic in this. It's kind of like. Do you guys watch Monarch at all?
I have.
Yes.
You know what it is, the Godzilla thing. And
of course.
So who's the guy from that Comedy Central show?
Workaholics.
Anders. Oh, Workaholics. Yeah.
So Anders is in that, and he's great. He's playing a dramatic role, right? And it's cool because you keep waiting for a joke and it doesn't happen, and so that's what's happening in Fargo. You keep waiting for, Lamont Morris to say something about Ferguson or some The
Frank
pithy
Sinatra.
just like, oh no, sorry, I'm a state trooper being all serious, and he's fantastic. He's great.
Yeah.
So, yes, typecasting is a thing. I try to work against it. Sorry, Lamorne.
So I finally finished Hijack.
Oh yeah,
It was enjoyable. It was
Yeah?
good. It was surprisingly just ended though.
Well, I haven't seen it all yet, so
Good.
I don't care about spoilers, but you know, I don't. I didn't even really expect about anything of it. It's like the ultimate closed room mystery, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't go anywhere.
Like, does it end open? Is it an open?
I mean, probably. You can pull anything out of anything nowadays, but big crime organization hijacking, then it's just like, okay, credits pop up. I was like, Jesus Christ, okay, I guess it's over.
Let's go grab an orange Julius at the terminal and let's get out of here.
We're gonna see Dizzy Gillespie at the Kokomo. All right, Grandma.
Dizzy Gillespie? Why Dizzy Gillespie?
At the Kokomo? I have power problems.
Oh.
But super cool. Right under where I'm sitting at the kitchen table, Mimi designed this little plug that's right under where we sit.
Oh shit, that's your front door. I'm now realizing where you are in your house.
Yeah. See, there's the little front door area.
Huh.
Are
you is anyone the young man's back, right? Is he back from
He's
school?
not back from school yet, but that's what I was doing, checking on his potential whereabouts. Did I tell you he's in the lacrosse team now?
Oh, he's doing lacrosse? That's crazy.
This guy, he's mental. He's like, Neo in the Matrix. It's like, oh, I know Kung Fu now. Okay.
I'll do another sport.
His first lacrosse thing yesterday, and half the team is the football team. So they've already explained to the coach this guy that they're poaching from football. And so the coach is like, oh, okay, here, this is Walker I've heard about. Okay, that's great. All right, you're my skinniest fat guy over there. Let's go. And I just love how those guys talk, because most teachers would never say something like that. Oh, I feel body shamed now. And it's not. It's the code. It's like the fat guys are just the bigger guys.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not, you don't have to be technically fat. You're just going to be lineman or whatever they call it in lacrosse, right?
I have no idea. Yeah.
Me neither, but he's going to be. The first couple days of this is hilarious, because I told him this is true. This part is true, that one of my college roommates, Rich Plotnick, was on the Clark University lacrosse team. But that's literally all I know about.
I was going to say that's all you know.
So I told him, hey, my old college roommate Rich was on the lacrosse team, and so what position are you playing? And he tried to say something, but he didn't remember. They're just doing workouts, and I was like, So I made up something idiotic on the spot. I was like, well, you're not a right slide tackle, are you? Or something like that. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I couldn't keep it together. I was like, oh, I have this plan. I was going to do this for days to you, and I'm just being an idiot. And he's like, you see, he has a pretty good De Niro face, so he gave me his De Niro.
Nice.
All right, let's see. Yes.
Steve, what is Acavano? Mr. Acavano.
What is Mr. Acavano? You don't know? Thank you, Mr. Acavano. Brian De Palma made a movie, Danny DeVito and Joe Piscopo, called Wise Guys. It's a comedy.
Oh, yes. Okay.
It's a comedy. And in the movie, they steal Mr. Acavano's Cadillac and his credit card, and they go to it's a I'm skipping the movie. My next it is my next article. Yeah.
So
Wise
I
Guys.
apologize to everyone. You've already done an article. I haven't put it up, have I?
Yeah, I no worries whatsoever. Anyway, Captain Lou Albano, the wrestler, in it is, I think it's like Fat Freddy or something like that, but it's Mr. Acavano. And every time they do something, because they're using a stolen credit card, they keep on saying, thank you, Mr. Acavano. And it does all, they say that for like a good like 20 minutes in the movie. Great
De
movie.
Niro?
Not De Niro. No. It's Joe Piscopo and Danny DeVito.
Okay. That's still a big name.
And Harvey Keitel's in it.
Yeah.
Who else
That
is in it?
It's funny, not Joe Pesci, Joe Piscopo, just to be clear, specifically.
Yes. But it's a great comedy. Great. It's one of me and my dad's favorite. So yeah, I was starting the. I was like it was in my hard drive. I have my hard drive running in the background, and it was one of the movies that showed up earlier yesterday, and I was like, oh shit, I got to write an article about that because I don't think anyone even knows the movie exists. Oh, you know what? Good segue. Let's show a trailer.
Anyway, thank you for being so gracious about that. That's like the worst thing ever is to write something and have your editor / publisher like just take a 3-day weekend and go hang out with his father-in-law.
Oh, dude, I
forget about what was going on.
That is not a problem whatsoever. I don't care about that.
So the cool thing is, right after this episode of Dark Court, you can go to www.darkcourt.com for Steve's new article. Have you heard of?
All right, how do I? Mark, you did it last time. How do we do this?
You're doing it, baby. And just make it full screen.
That one?
Yeah.
And then can you let me know if you can hear it. If I'm sharing, you should be able to hear it, right?
Yeah, we'll find out together.
All right, let's see. Nope, I got to do it over here. Wonderful movie. Anyway, I'll write an article about it. It's if you haven't seen it, it's hysterical. And I don't even. Probably the most important part of my article is can you actually find it somewhere? So let's see if you can. Let's see if it actually is somewhere.
You guys got to do the Just Watch app. Are you not? Do you not have that?
Yeah, that's what I use.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It's called Just Watch.
Okay.
You type in any movie. Well, first, when you set up your account, you have every streaming platform that you have. You click yes or no, and then when you type in any movie, it'll tell you where you can watch it.
Oh,
it'll say you can watch it for free here on this streaming account. You can pay for it here. Yeah,
it's essentially what I use when I call it out at the end, where I'm like, I think, and then again, a lot of times they're like, it's not available anywhere, and it's like, you got to buy it.
Yeah,
not ideal.
You know, I'm so old school. They kind of do that through. We have, still have our cable. So you just do that through the Xfinity and just go, hey, Xfinity, I want to watch Fletch. And they go, yeah, here, you can have it here. And then, but there is one little step because they'll often say, oh, you can buy it for $3.99 on Amazon Prime. It's like, okay, cool, except we have Amazon Prime. So they don't send you there, but they at least tell you that's where it is. So I'm like, okay, great. I'll just open my Amazon Prime thing. And thanks very much.
Yeah, I think it's in Amazon.
Tons of beaches.
But have you ever seen that movie, Mark, before? You did.
Yes, I still remember the plot of them having to kill each other.
Yes, yeah. and it's good because it's good wig Danny DeVito, which is my favorite. Danny DeVito.
Was that okay? That was.
Would you say good weight?
Wig.
Oh, good wig.
But anyway, that's a good one.
That might have been the last of his hair. That might be his last real hair movie.
You think so? Wow. He looks good. He looks good in that movie. That's like, I'm trying to think of what else he's making during that time, but I'll when I start thinking, because I think that's 1988. So I'm wondering is that right before Twins? After Twins?
After Taxi, right?
Twins is 88, and Wise Guys, I think, is 88. Anyway, I'm giving away the whole plot of my article. So I have to. But what else? What else did I read today? Did you guys see that the what's his name? Is it Chad Stahelski? Is that his name? The John Wick guy, the director of John Wick.
Okay.
Well, he's essentially the creative director or the creative guy behind Highlander, the new Highlander,
new one
with with Superman.
Henry
So
Cavill.
supposedly there was an article, I don't know, I think I saw it in Variety or something, where he has 100% creative control over the entire John Wick universe. And they've also done the same thing for him as he explores Highlander. So he can do kind of whatever he wants. But I was kind of cool. Like he's kind of,
awesome.
You know, it reminds me of the conversation that Larry always has about like how each like big property kind of needs that one like visionary person to be put in charge. Like what's his name with Marvel, Filoni and Favreau and like Star Wars. It's like you kind of have to have that one person. So I'm kind of like, I think companies or you know, studios are finally realizing like, yeah, if we put one person in charge of this, we're probably not going to fuck it up.
I think you're absolutely right, especially after the strikes, because that's what happening. And bringing it back from Fargo, that was Noah Hawley who was working on that season.
Okay,
who's doing the next Alien show for FX, and he's making a big deal saying, "Yeah, I don't really care about any of the other movies." Which was cool, you know. It's like he's just Doctor Whoing it. Oh right. Yeah, if this is cool, and I want to address something and use those characters, right? Let's go. But like, I want to tell this story, and some show from fucking 1947 before, you know, that contradicts it. Who cares?
Yeah.
And so I was very happy and refreshed to hear that. So I think that's what's going on. You're going to get one guy who's the alien guy now.
Right.
Just have a guy who goes, hey, you know, they wouldn't say that. And somebody wants to argue and is like, yeah, that's cool. I understand your point, but like somebody has to win this argument.
Right.
Which is what Star Trek doesn't have.
I
arguments forever.
You always, I feel like that's a topic of conversation in every one of your Star Trek things with Price. So it's like, I'm always like, it's weird that they wouldn't have that. But then again, like part of like one of the things I brought up is like they actually Star Trek has 3 different shows with 3 different on 3 different channels and like or viewable in 3 different areas, which would be kind of a challenge to kind of be an organizer of that. And it's probably
it's part of what happened to the property that other stuff doesn't. It's this weird thing that when CBS and Viacom split up, they split Star Trek into, well, you have the Star Trek movies and you have the Star Trek shows. And that killed the whole thing right there, because you know who didn't understand that? The audience.
Right.
It says Star Trek on it, right? But this is different from that. And what's the oh man. It's they have to just like forget everything has happened and just start with Star Trek.
But
so
you could.
What did they do different with Strange New Worlds? Because I love those 2 seasons.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, well, what was your question? What they do differently?
Yeah, like
it's Akiva Goldsman is the showrunner, and he's or for at least the first season. I think there's somebody else this season. I forget who it is, but yeah, he needed somebody that knew what they were doing and put it on track. And like, you know, he's a pretty talented guy, no matter what you think of his output. But you know, so he's like, yeah, let's just do Star Trek. Here's a thought. Have the guy who's in charge of the ship, and it's Enterprise, and everyone wears gold, blue, and red. And let's do some stuff about the human condition. Okay, Spock's got a girlfriend. That's cool.
Yeah.
I get you have to do stuff for the modern day. And I think that show hits a lot more than it misses. So,
yeah.
Yes, please. More of that.
He won
an Academy Award. They were able to even do an animated show tie-in and have it work in perfectly.
I'm going to go watch it as soon as we get off. That's how perfect that is.
Those old scientists.
And even the actors were into it. You know that bit where Boimler jumps on the saddle?
Yeah.
He was just doing that because Riker, you know, like who wouldn't do that if you're on a Star Trek set?
Boimler, is that
Quaid?
Yeah,
Randy Quaid, Dennis Quaid. I was saying Randy Quaid, Dennis Quaid's son, right? Didn't he just get cast as the Flash?
Oh, I don't know.
Didn't James Gunn just announce that he's the
Jack
he's in
Quaid
Flash?
is the Flash.
Yeah,
Because dude's like 42 or something.
why do I feel like I read that?
Huh.
I mean,
I'd be into it.
I'd be sad, honestly, because I want a live action Lower Deck show now.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that episode did was kill any interest in that cartoon I had.
What's his name?
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid.
Which is funny because his girlfriend was killed by a speedster in The Boys. So I don't know.
Oh, that's right. He's in The
Weird.
Boys. That's right. Yes. I read it somewhere.
I believe you.
You know what? Stupid fan art bullshit. And then Screen Rant wrote an article about it, so it showed up in.
Screen.
Now I hate myself.
If
I hang myself in the background, just tell my daughters I love them.
It's still.
Don't even waste any rope. You should Kurt Cobain it.
Don't waste the rope.
And anyway, I didn't know Akiva Goldsman. He did the screenplay for A Beautiful Mind and won an Academy Award.
Yes.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's a talented guy. A lot of people don't like his work on the X-Men, though. That's where that comes from.
Oh.
But anyway, I think.
Well, he wrote Batman and Robin, so I give him that.
Yes.
Robin.
And Batman Forever.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of, not the X-Men, the Batman movies.
And then let's see what else.
Yeah.
He's got some pretty decent sci-fi stuff on. I mean, he did iRobot, which I actually liked.
Yeah, I like that.
He did the Da Vinci Code, which I actually think is I liked the Dan Brown book. I thought the movie was pretty solid. He did I Am Legend, which I actually really liked.
Yeah.
And he did Angels and Demons, which is kind of okay. And then he did Dark Tower, so not great.
Mm-hmm.
I learned the other day there's actually 3 Langdon movies.
Yes.
I thought there was only 2.
Yeah.
I got Mandela affected.
Does the third one have Tom Hanks as well?
Yes.
What's it
He's
called?
in all 3. Ewan McGregor, I think, is the villain in the second or third one.
He's the Pope, right? He's the Pope's assistant.
Yeah. I saw that one.
Hold on, I'll get the order.
That's got to be Angels and Demons, because he's a priest, right?
Hold on. Sorry, bear with me.
Nope. Oh, and I watched the first episode of The Continental on your recommendation, and I
What'd you think?
fucking loved it.
Dude, I just wanted, at the end of that, I was like, I wanted 3 more. Like, that. I want all television to be like that. Please take place in the 70s, and please just do 70s stuff. That's all.
70s John Wick, love it.
Da Vinci Code, 06. Angels and Demons, 09. Inferno, 7 years later, 2016.
Huh. Yeah.
Wait, did you get a thumbs up because you did a thumbs up?
I do because I'm cool. You don't get a thumbs up because you're not.
That's bullshit.
Do a thumbs up. See if you get it. See, nothing. They were gonna make another one, but got canceled.
Yeah.
And then I think they made it into a TV show.
I think Tom Hanks needs to do Astronauts in Trouble or something.
He's due for something.
Yeah. Last thing he did was invent COVID, and then he disappeared.
They've got that. No, he did that cool Finch movie for Apple. That was cool. I like that.
Wow. He's also, I think he's in the Wes Anderson movie, right? The Asteroid City.
Is he in that?
Yeah.
That makes
I didn't
sense.
even see that.
Yeah, I don't fear Wes Anderson, but Wes Anderson's a definite, like, the barometric pressure in the world has to be correct. And I have to be in a good mood, and it has to be a weekend, and like maybe a nice aperitif of some kind. You know what I mean? Like the planets have to align for me to dig on a Wes Anderson movie, because otherwise I think pretentious twaddle. But then if something's just right there, like Life Aquatic, I'm like, this is the best movie ever made.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's definitely a timing thing. I completely agree. It's not something that I could just sit down and watch. But I totally get that.
Speaking of a timing thing, hitting the hour mark.
Yes.
How are we
That's
feeling?
cool. You can be the hour mark.
Yeah. Hey, Mark.
I like that.
Yeah. I only had one last thing. Should Janine be in a? Should Janine
Ghostbuster?
have a proton pack?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Fine. You know why?
I mean,
Here's
Lewis
my
Tuttle
thing.
got one.
Walker and I actually talked about this, and we came to the conclusion that Janine is not Yoko. So we're good.
Yeah.
Because she loved Ray, you know. So it kind of seems like
Egon.
I mean Egon. It's not as cringy as it might be, because it's like, if anybody earned the spot, it's you, Janine. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. And you kind of get the vibe that like when they had their all falling out, like she was the one kind of keeping tabs on everybody still.
Yeah. She's the mom of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Man,
I like that.
I sent you guys the link to the jacket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the parka.
Are you, because I'm like, I can't. Mimi would murder me if I did that.
I don't go anywhere cold enough.
Yeah, I know, right? We live in California.
I wear shorts. I wear shorts every day. It's kind of like the weird thing to wear like that giant puffer jacket when I'm like wearing shorts, but maybe.
Actually, not that bad.
I'm not hearing no.
I mean, I did spend like $400 on that replica jacket because I paid for one. It ended up being too big. I had to ship it back to like New Zealand and then have another one shipped. So I don't know what I paid.
Look good.
It was a good jacket.
Oh man. Well, I'm sorry about that, but like Mark said, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's only 300.
Yeah.
So new article hitting the websites pretty soon.
20 minutes.
All right.
And feel free to edit away, like I always tell you. Like, don't like.
There's nothing to. Sometimes I got to clean up some punctuation, but
yeah, I'm. This is a robot over here, so
you write like you speak, so I enjoy it when it's not edited too heavily.
Well, it's a good one. Last thought. Larry, have you seen the movie that this article is about?
No.
I think Walker will absolutely love it. I think you would love it too.
Having read your article already, I agree.
Okay. Yeah. And I actually, the funny part is I talk almost nothing about the movie or the plot because once you dive into it, it comes. I can't not keep on describing stuff. So
the bit I loved is you rattling off the cast, and it's like, oh that guy. Oh yeah, how come I haven't even heard of this? Oh, it's a Steve movie. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
exactly. The essence of the article.
Yeah. Well, I'm keep trying to knock them out and keep on making them so that zine is just a couple more photocopied pieces of paper. So
excellent.
Right.
All right.
Awesome, guys.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. That was a pleasure.
That was awesome.
Dork Trek is what, Tuesday for you? Tuesday for you, and we're Thursdays for us.
All right, thanks, guys. That was a blast.
Later, guys.